Soccer Sensei's Extra Time here with Rodrigo Salazar, Elias Artunda, and Phil Schoen. Everybody, the Godfather.
I'm not Lionel Messi, but thank you.
Phil Schoen is BeIn Sports top voice in soccer in the United States and I say the world, definitely. And he covers the La Liga matches on BeIn Sports. So it's a real honor to have you on again, Phil. Thanks again for taking time. And La Liga, you cover La Liga every week with our friend Ray Hudson. And we're here to talk about Spain-Netherlands, which is one of the biggest matches in the first round. What do you think, Phil?
It's an interesting one. Plus, also, thank goodness I have a chance to cover Serie A in Italy because I think that's going to play a role in this group. I think that Spain has pretty much everything going its way, similar as they have over the last 8 years or so. The one thing that they actually have, I think, that makes them even more difficult is Vicente del Bosque's changed with the times a bit. It's always kind of been, you take Barcelona's tiki-taka and you toss in a few Real Madrid players, but now what they've done, and maybe it was just in the friendlies to try and get a run, but Diego Costa and David Villa, this has a lot more of an Atletico Madrid look to it. And I think if you have the ability to hold possession like Barca, if you have the ability to do that lightning quick counter like a Real Madrid, and then you also have, I don't want to call it route one, but say you still have that hopeful ball in the arsenal to just send it upfield and let Diego Costa do some damage. I think that this gives them a lot more versatility. Now, on the other end, I think in regards to the Dutch, there's a little bit more of a tactical switch, and I'm not sure if that's due to ability or perhaps a lack thereof. It almost looks like the switch to a three-man back line that is so against what Van Gaal normally goes with is a little bit of a concern that the old standby isn't getting it done. And if you're not 100% solid against Spain, I think it could get ugly.
Definitely. And when you look at the Spain team, they can hurt you in so many ways. You mentioned Diego Costa. Cesc Fabregas can score. He can create. He's not having a great season at Barcelona. There's rumors he's going to Chelsea. I really think Spain's going to take this one at least 1-0. The Holland team is. I just feel like they stripped it of a lot of the older guard. They left in Wesley Sneijder, who is one of the great creative midfielders in the world still, and obviously Van Persie and Huntelaar. But they can hurt you on the counterattack because they're very, very fast. They're so fast. Elia, these players, they could really hurt you in that way. But I don't think they have the experience and the wherewithal to beat Spain. I mean, and I was talking about Ellis. Ellis brought up a good point. Talk about dark horses. In a way, Spain is a dark horse here because nobody's really even picking them to be the ones to win it all.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. First of all, it's going to turn out to be a great matchup. I'm really excited to see how the Dutch play out. They had a terrible Euro 2012. They came out with 3 losses. Definitely Van Gaal does not want to repeat the same outcome this time around. I believe that this whole mixture of youngsters and veterans will somehow play out. I'm really excited to see Danny Blind's son, how he's going to perform at the top stage. I've been following him at Ajax for the past few years, and eager to see how the Feyenoord youngsters in Klassie and Fer will play out too. So this is it's the 125th anniversary of the creation of the Dutch Federation, and I think with Van Gaal being there at the helm, it'll bring the best out of them. They're a team.
I was going to say, I agree with you to a point. Number one, Blind, in my mind, is probably the epitome of this next generation. Defender, but so much more than that. I mean, he's probably, in my mind, maybe the only remnant of total football that's on this team. I do think that, as you're talking about with Feyenoord, the switch that Van Gaal has made is very similar to the way Feyenoord plays. So he's taking what he thinks is a strength and trying to morph it in. But it just changes that standard 4-3-3 that Holland is known for. And I know you talked about Elia, you have Arjen Robben and the ability on the flanks. But now, with the 3/5, it just changes the roles a little bit. And I'm not exactly sure if they're going to be as composed as they need to be in this group. It might be one of the most difficult groups to pick two teams. I don't think that anyone's really thinking that there's going to be four challengers. I think it's really between Spain, Holland, and Chile. I'm just not sure if Holland is quite up to where Chile is. I talk about dark horses. I think that might be it. And if Arturo Vidal can get any semblance of health, I think that makes them a lot more dangerous. I'm not exactly sold on Claudio Bravo. I mean, I think it's not a bad decision for him if he does end up signing for Barcelona to be a backup, because I think that's pretty much where he is. He's a good, solid backup. Now, if the defense in front of him can keep the shots to a minimum, I think that they will have enough of a chance. Now, as far as Holland goes, again, the one concern is you're looking at a Chile side that's very good, a Spanish side that's very good, against a Dutch side that has been up and down and whose lead attacking options have probably spent more time on the training table than they have on the training field. So I'm not saying it's out of the realm. I think we'll get a very good idea in the first game as to how Holland could play with Spain, as to what they'll be able to do against Chile later on.
What do you think is going to be the final score between Spain and Netherlands?
In my mind, I wouldn't even be surprised to see 3-0, but I'm going to keep it a little bit down and say 2-0. Again, I think that Del Bosque is underappreciated as a tactician and as a manager. And his ability to morph way back to his days at Real Madrid and through what Aragonés was able to put together, his ability to change with his personnel is underappreciated. I don't think they're going to win this time. I think, again, that Europeans in South America, history shows that they don't have much success. I think that things have changed a bit because with television, everyone sees everyone. Most of the key Europeans, most of the key South Americans play in Europe already. They're quite familiar with them. You're not flying on a prop plane. You're going to be flying on jets in first class.
Yeah.
So maybe the differences are different than they have been in the past. You do have the heat up north. You have the winter, and it's choppy, in some cases, very poor conditions in the fields down in the south. I think, though, if any European team, even more than Germany, I think if any European team is going to do it, it's Spain, because their ability to hold possession is going to keep the score down for the opposition. That'll keep them always close. And I do think that Diego Costa is the wild card. I'm just not sure if they're going to be able to get past, say, an Argentina, or in my mind, even of the past World Cup champions, the dark horse, the Cinderella would be in Italy.
Definitely.
I think that might be one of those ones where one goal is enough, and Italy might have more defense than Spain does.
Yeah, I think Germany's World Cup is down to their injury crisis. I mean, Rouse is a huge loss. But again, Phil, thank you so much for joining us on Soccer Sensei's Extra Time. And you're going to be joining us later on with Spain, Chile. So look out for that. Again, thank you, Phil.
My pleasure.